You know that thing where you get an amazing pair of shoes at a really great price and want to tell everyone about it? Yeah, so do we. Here at Designer Shoe Warehouse, we'll give you something to brag about, like the latest styles from brands you love, or the trends everyone's obsessing over, or shoes that make you feel like, well, you. So go ahead, show off a little. Find shoes that get you at prices that get your budget. Head to your DSW store or dsw.com today. DSW, let us surprise you.
Welcome to Ask Amy from What Fresh Hell Laughing in the Face of Motherhood, solving your parenting dilemmas one question at a time. This week's question came from Nisi on Facebook. She said, asking the best group on the interwebs, which, by the way, she is totally correct about, and you can join our Facebook group at facebook.com/groups/whatfreshhellcast. So Nisi wrote in to say, please help this mom of a very smart and savvy 11-year-old who is some kind of Jedi master of stalling. He knows it's bedtime. He doesn't want to go to bed. Shocker. But instead of outright complaining, he stalls his bedtime by doing little tiny things to stall the process. He's talking about the weather. He's asking me questions. He's taking 10 minutes to brush his teeth. Pointing out each little thing he's doing in order to stall is annoying, and it only makes him dig his heels and more. I love him so much. I know this is probably a ploy for attention, but come on. I feel like we give him a lot of attention throughout the day and in general. What can I do? Well, Nisi, I have been there. And you are probably right about one thing. You might just have a slowpoke. And you are definitely correct that telling a slowpoke that they need to hurry up can have a paradoxical effect, speaking from experience. I think what you need to do here is be a little bit of a detective, which you are already being when you said you think your son is just doing this for attention. Maybe he is just doing this for attention. Or maybe it's the staying up later. Maybe he just wants to stay up. First thing you want to look at is his bedtime. Look at the bedtime itself. If you haven't rolled it back 30 minutes in a couple of years, that might be what he's ready for. He might actually really not be tired. If he's ready for a slightly later bedtime, if 8:30 bedtime has become 9 and the 9 has become 9:45 anyway, then that's also really useful currency. You could go to your child and say, look, I think you're ready for a later bedtime. I think you could handle a 9 o'clock bedtime instead of an 8:30 bedtime. But here's the thing. If you want to have a 9 o'clock bedtime, you got to do this, 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 and this. It's a carrot that might actually be very helpful. That your child can have this every night, but only if he cooperates by moving through all of this more quickly. Maybe his bedtime is where it needs to be. Maybe you can't really move it any later. Something else you might want to look at is doing the unpreferred activities before the preferred activities. It sounds like he's delaying bedtime, and the putting on his pajamas and brushing his teeth is the last thing he's doing at night. What if you had him do all or most of the bedtime stuff first? Homework, shower, pajamas, brush your teeth, whatever it is, and then the preferred activity. TV, gaming, time with you. None of that starts until all of these things are done. So he could move right from dinner into homework, into this getting ready for bed, and only then the preferred activity. And then the bedtime is still 9 o'clock to make up a bedtime. The bedtime's still 9 o'clock, hard stop. And of course, those transitions are going to be hard too, particularly if you saved gaming for the end instead of the teeth brushing. The gamer educator on Instagram, also known as Ash Brandon. We did an interview with them a month or two ago. I'll put the link in the show notes to that episode. Ash has tons of good advice on how to take the negotiation out of the ending of screen time, because then you're fighting about ending of screen time instead of brushing your teeth. I get it. But moving that to the end and saying the game goes off at 9 instead of let's start to go brush our teeth at 8:55 might be really helpful. I think what you need is an external motivator for your kid to move more quickly that is not you yelling. It could be this thing he really wants to do, this preferred activity at the end. It could be a timer counting down. It could be a clock on the wall. It could be the smart speaker playing the same playlist and he has to get everything done by the third song on the playlist. You have to try different things. And he's 11, so the little kid stuff isn't necessarily going to work, but you might be surprised what does work. You suggested that maybe it's time with you and attention that is what he's getting by stalling. In that case, maybe roll back the time when you start the process so that you're not already behind. If you know it's going to take him an hour to get ready for bed and it should take 20 minutes, then have him start doing it an hour ahead instead of 20 minutes. And here's another opportunity to put that external motivation in place. You could say, I'll play Clue with you once you're ready for bed, but we would have to stop at 9. So let me know when you're ready for bed. I mean totally ready for bed, and then walk away. Remove your availability to walk him through each step. Maybe that would make stalling a little bit less interesting. In all things, it's always useful with kids to figure out when you have a situation that's not working, figure out what can you add and what can you take away. So we've talked about the things you might be able to add. You might be able to add a timer or another external countdown motivation. You can add an external motivation that's if you get ready for bed, if you're in bed at 9 o'clock, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday this week. On Friday, we will have whatever you want for dinner. You can add more time to how long you're allowing for this process. You can add that preferred activity time only after he's ready for bed. And then you can add little things like the toothbrush in the downstairs bathroom, my favorite example, which got us out the door 10, 15 minutes earlier for school every morning once I figured that one out. There are things you can take away. You can take away your oversight and your negative attention that's moving him through this process, which probably is part of what's motivating him. You could take away some of your expectations. Maybe it's showering every other night instead of every night if it's really such a long process that's slowing everything down. You can take away the preferred activities. You don't get to play on the Switch tonight because this all took so long. Although here it's probably better, instead of saying using them as a punishment and using them as you don't get to have this now, just better to move them afterwards. And then we're out of time. Again, let the clock on the wall be the one that he's fighting with. Let the buzzer, the timer, the quacking duck on the phone, things that aren't you. Because then you'll just get locked into punishing, butting heads about how unfair you are. Finally, you can take away your attention. If you went in your own room and you shut the door and you took the dog with you, would your kid still be up at midnight? I mean, maybe. The answer is definitely maybe, or he might get bored and go to bed. I would argue that you want to sort of work these dials one at a time. Don't change 10 things at once. Have patience. Add something. Take something away. Just try it. Because by doing that each time, you're going to figure out his motivations and his currency, figure out what definitely doesn't work, figure out what's making him tick, and each bit of information you glean will lead you a little bit closer to what is going to work. Send us your parenting questions and we might answer yours next. Email us questions@whatfreshhellpodcast.com. Thanks for listening.
Stitch Fix. Shopping is hard. Let's talk about it.
I don't have time to shop for clothes.
I have to buy everything in 3 sizes to find one that fits. They know me at the post office.
Workout wear is my only wear.
Stitch Fix makes shopping easy. Just show your size, style, and budget, and your stylist sends personalized looks right to your door. No subscription required, plus free shipping and returns.
Oh, wow, that was easy.
Stitch Fix, online personal styling for everyone. Take your style quiz today at stitchfix.com.